I ruined my life in a way you can't fix with an apology or a phone call. I'm 70 years old, and the woman I truly loved died believing I chose my pride over her. She went to her grave thinking I didn't want her. And the thing that eats me alive is, she wasn't wrong. Not back then. I'm 70. I live alone in a small apartment, and I am the man younger me swore I would never become. I have money in the bank, a decent pension. My health is all right for my age. But none of that matters when the person you needed to hear "I'm sorry" from is buried 6 feet under, and the only place you can talk to them is in your head at 3 in the morning. I'm talking to you because if you're young, you probably think you have time. Time to fix things, time to come back, time to be better when life calms down. I thought that too. And then I turned around and I was an old man arguing with ghosts. So, let me start before everything went wrong. When I was 25, I thought I had it all figured out. I had this plan in my head of the man I was going to be. Successful, respected, the kind of guy people looked at and said, he really did something with his life. Back then, I was engaged to a woman named Anne. On paper, she was perfect, kind, smart, came from a good family, as my mother liked to say. There were matching towels and wedding invitations, and a future everybody could see. I liked her. I cared about her. I thought that was enough. Then I met Laura. I met her in the most boring way you meet important people sometimes, at work. She was the new girl in the office, balancing a 2 full tray of coffees, juggling a stack of files, laughing at herself when one of the cups almost tipped over. She had this way of making a room lighter just by walking into it, but not in some dramatic movie way. Just small things. She really listened when you talked. She remembered little details. She made you feel like you were the only person in the world for those few minutes. We started having lunch together, then coffee after work. Then I was making excuses to stay late if I knew she was staying late. I told myself it was harmless. I told myself, I'm getting married in 6 months, I'm just enjoying good company. You can lie to yourself very easily in your 20s. You think you're too smart to ruin your life, so you don't notice that you already are. One night, it was raining. Everyone had left. We were the only two in that ugly fluorescent office, with the hum of the air conditioner and the sound of the rain on the windows. She was talking about her childhood, how her dad left when she was a kid, and how she always told herself she'd never beg anyone to stay. I remember every detail of that night. The way her hair stuck to her forehead from the rain. The way her hands shook a little when she laughed about something that wasn't funny. The way I wanted to put my hand over hers and say, "You'll never have to beg me." I didn't say it out loud then, but I thought it. That was the moment. That's when the secret started. Not when we first kissed. Not when we first did anything physical. It started the moment I knew I was in love with someone who wasn't my fiancé and decided to pretend I wasn't. A week later, I kissed her in the stairwell. Cheap grey carpet, smell of old cleaning supplies, terrible yellow light. No romance, just this feeling like I was stepping off a cliff. She kissed me back, and for a few seconds, nothing existed but that. Then the shame hit, like ice water. I pulled back and said something stupid like, "We shouldn't." She nodded. We both laughed in that nervous way, but we kept seeing each other. More coffee, more late nights, more accidental touches, always telling ourselves we were just friends who had crossed a line one time. I didn't call off the engagement. That's important. People like to imagine that when you really love someone, you'll automatically do the brave thing. You won't. Not if you're scared enough. Not if your ego is on the line. I kept walking toward a wedding I didn't want because I was more afraid of disappointing my parents, her parents, our friends, than I was afraid of breaking Anne's heart or losing Laura. The day it all came to a head was ugly. It was 3 months before the wedding. I remember because we had just mailed the invitations. I went to lunch with Laura. She looked tired, different. There was this heaviness around her eyes I hadn't seen before. She stirred her coffee for a long time before she said anything. Then she just blurted it out. "I can't do this anymore, Mark." She said my name like it hurt her mouth. "I can't be the woman you cheat with," she said. "I can't be the secret you only let yourself have at lunch breaks and in stairwells." I tried to play dumb. I said, "We haven't done anything," like a coward, hiding behind technicalities. She just looked at me with this sadness. Not anger, not drama, just a tired kind of sadness that made me feel smaller than I'd ever felt. "You go home to someone else," she said quietly. "You plan a future with someone else, and then you come to me to feel alive. That's not fair. Not to me, not to her, and not to you, even if you don't see it yet." I told her I loved her. The words came out before I could stop them. It was the first time I'd said that to her. The first time I'd said it and really, truly meant it in that way. She looked at me, and for a second, I saw this flicker of hope in her face. Then she asked the question that changed everything. "Will you call off the wedding?" I wish I could tell you that. In that moment, I got up, left the restaurant, and fixed everything. I didn't. I froze. My mind didn't go to how much I loved her. It went to the deposit on the venue, the vacation days people had already requested, the talk my parents would have with me about responsibility and being a man of your word. My pride screamed louder than my heart. So I said, "I can't." She didn't beg. She didn't cause a scene. She just sat back in her chair, and something in her face shut down, like a door closing. "Okay," she said, "then this is the last time we see each other." I panicked. I said I could try to make it work somehow. I suggested being friends or giving it time. I tried every excuse that would let me keep my life the same and still hold on to her. She stood up, put some cash on the table and said, "I'm not a half-life, Mark." And then she walked out. That was my point of no return. Not the kiss, not the engagement. That moment, watching her back as she walked away, knowing I was letting the love of my life leave because I was too afraid to break something that was already broken. I married Anne. On the wedding day, everyone said how happy I looked in the photos. They see a big smile, a young man in a suit, a pretty bride in white. What they don't see is that my eyes keep drifting somewhere else in my own mind. That while she walked down the aisle, a small part of me was hoping to see Laura in the back of the room, rushing in, dramatic, ready to stop the ceremony like in a movie. She never came. Of course she didn't. Real life doesn't give you those scenes. I told myself I'd move on, that what I had with Laura was just a phase. Something I'd remember fondly one day when I was older and wiser, sitting on a porch somewhere with a stable marriage and some kids. Instead, her absence became this quiet noise in the background of my life. Always there, never loud enough to shut everything down, but loud enough that I could never fully forget it. Anne and I had a decent marriage at first. We had 2 kids. We had holidays, birthday parties, arguments about bills, arguments about my long hours, normal life stuff. If you'd met us, you would have thought we were fine. And we were fine. That's the part no one warns you about. Fine can be the slowest kind of death. I never told Anne about Laura. Not really. I mentioned her once lightly as this girl I used to work with when a song came on the radio that reminded me of her, but I swallowed the rest. The truth would have torn my life apart, and I didn't want to be the bad guy. I wanted to be the good husband, the good dad, the respectable man. So I wore that mask for decades. But the mask has a cost. You can't wear it that long and expect your face to be the same underneath. I became distant without knowing it. When my kids hugged me, I hugged them back, but part of me was miles away. When my wife told me she loved me, I said it back, but the words felt heavy in my mouth sometimes. like I was stealing them from someone else. The worst part is, you start to resent the people you're lying to as if they forced you into it. I'd get irritated with Anne for small things. The way she folded towels, the way she'd talk about our future plans like everything was solid, unshakable. She was building a house on a foundation I knew was cracked, but I never had the courage to tell her. Years went by like that. Then, when I was 49, a co-worker mentioned that he'd run into Laura. My heart stopped. It had been over 20 years. She asked how you were, he said she hoped you were happy. He told me she'd moved to another state, that she'd married, that she had a daughter. He showed me a photo on his phone. There she was, older, a few lines around her eyes, hair shorter, smiling, holding a little girl's hand. For a week after that, I walked around the house like there were bees in my chest. I wanted to call her, to write her, to find some excuse to be in her city. I told myself it was harmless, just catching up, old friends. You know the lines. I didn't do it, but not for the right reasons. I didn't do it because I was afraid I'd see in her eyes that she was truly happy without me. Afraid I'd be faced with the proof that I had not only hurt her, but also wasted my own life clinging to a version of myself that didn't exist. So I stayed quiet. I added another layer to the secret. Fast forward again. My kids grew up, moved out, got their own lives. Our house got quieter, too quiet. The noise of daily life had covered the cracks for years, but once those sounds faded, all you could hear was the echo. Anne and I sat across from each other at the dinner table, two strangers who had built a life together without really knowing each other's deepest truths. She didn't know that every time we drove past a certain cafe, my chest tightened. She didn't know there were songs I skipped in the car because I couldn't handle the memories. She didn't know there was a whole version of me she had never met because I killed him to keep from disappointing everyone. Then she got sick. It happened slowly at first. A little fatigue, some tests, then the word nobody wants to hear from a doctor's mouth. It wasn't a sudden car accident. It was a long, slow goodbye. You'd think that would have been my big awakening, my chance to say, life is short, tell the truth while you can. You'd think I would have confessed everything, ripped the bandage off, given her the honesty she deserved. I didn't. Instead, I sat by her bed and held her hand and told her I loved her. And I did love her, in my way. She was my companion, the mother of my children, the woman who shared my mornings and my bills and my inside jokes for decades. But the love was warped. It had always been shadowed by the thing I never said. One night, a few weeks before she died, she looked at me with this strange calm and said, "You know, sometimes I feel like you were never fully here with me, like some piece of you was always somewhere else." My throat closed up. I wanted to tell her. God, I wanted to. I opened my mouth and lied again. "I've always been here," I said. "With you." She smiled a little, like she didn't quite believe me, but didn't have the energy to argue. She squeezed my hand and closed her eyes. That moment haunts me more than anything. She was giving me a chance, even at the very end, to let her in. To say, "You're right, I've been a coward. Here's the truth of who you married." I didn't take it. I chose the easy lie over the hard truth, even when time was almost gone. She died not knowing who I really was. After the funeral, after the casseroles and the pity, and the people telling me she's in a better place, everyone went back to their lives, and I was alone. Alone in a house that smelled like her lotion and her shampoo, with her clothes still in the closet and her mug still by the sink. And I thought, well, this is it. This is where I finally grow up. I thought maybe I'd feel free to start being honest now, with myself, if no one else. Instead, I realized something terrifying. The window had closed, not just with her, with my kids too. with my own life, with the version of me that could have been something different. You can't just flip a switch at 65 and become the brave person you refused to be at 25, 35, 45. Those little choices calcify, they become who you are. A year later, I got a message from an old colleague. "Did you hear about Laura?" That sinking feeling again. I called him. He told me she'd passed away. Cancer, same as Anne, 58 years old. I hung up the phone and just sat there. The two women I had built my entire inner life around, one in public, one in secret, both gone. No more second chances, no more someday. They were both under the ground, and I was still here, with my memories and my lies and my what-ifs. I found out, through that same colleague, that Laura had divorced years earlier, that for a long time she'd raised her daughter alone, that she never married again. He said, "You know, she never really talked about you, but once, when we were all drunk at a Christmas party, she said, 'The man I loved chose comfort over me. I hope he's happy. I really do. I hope he's happy.'" Those words hit me like a freight train, because I'm not in the way that counts. I have moments of contentment. I have my shows, my books, my little routines. I have photos of my grandkids on the fridge. I have laughter sometimes. I'm not miserable every second. But under all of that, there's this gnawing, this quiet understanding that the younger version of me made choices I can't undo, that I hurt people by doing nothing, by staying silent, by letting fear steer the wheel. You know what people don't tell you about growing old with secrets? They don't fade, they get louder, because you have less noise to drown them out. No career to obsess over, no toddlers crying, no teenagers slamming doors, just you, your aches and pains, your pills on the counter, and the long stretch of evening where all you can hear is your own mind replaying scenes you can't reshoot. Sometimes, late at night, I talk to them, to Anne, to Laura, not out loud usually, just in my head. I tell Anne that I'm sorry I never gave her the full version of me. I tell Laura that I did love her, that I was just too weak to prove it. I don't know if it matters. I don't know if anyone is listening. Maybe it's just for me. You might be thinking, why are you telling me this? What am I supposed to do with an old man's regrets? I'm not here to give you a list of rules to fix your life. I don't have any. I messed mine up in quiet, everyday ways, not with one big disaster. What I am doing is holding up a mirror to where you might be headed if you're not careful. If you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s and you're living a double life, if there is someone you love that you keep on the side of your real life, in your head or in your phone, telling yourself you'll figure it out later, just know that later might never come, not in the clean way you're imagining. If you go to bed every night rehearsing conversations you're too scared to have, if you find yourself scrolling past someone's profile, feeling that twist in your gut, but never actually saying what needs to be said, that doesn't just go away with time. It hardens. It becomes part of who you are. I spent 50 years choosing silence over honesty. I thought I was protecting people. Really, I was just protecting my own image, my own comfort. I thought time would smooth it over. It didn't. Time just buried it under kids and jobs and dinners and small talk, until one day all that stuff fell away, and there it was, still sharp. I'm 70 now. My hands shake when I hold a coffee cup. I forget where I put my glasses. I talk to the TV sometimes. I'm not some wise old sage. I'm just a man who realizes he ran out of road with the truth still sitting in the passenger seat, never given the wheel. So, if you're listening to this, and there is someone you're thinking about right now, a person you hurt, a person you love but keep at arm's length, a person you're lying to by omission, ask yourself something honestly. If they were gone tomorrow, if their number stopped working and their chair was suddenly empty, could you live with the last thing you said to them? Could you live with what you never said? I couldn't. I can't. I'm learning to sit with that because that's all that's left for me now. Sitting with it. You, whoever you are, whatever age you are, you still have time, at least today. Time to keep doing what you're doing. Time to tell yourself that you'll deal with all of it when the moment is right. Just remember, you don't get a warning when that moment disappears. One day you wake up and the calls you didn't make can't be made. The apologies you didn't give can't be heard. The love you didn't choose has already built a life without you, or left this world altogether. And then you're left with what I have. A small apartment, a quiet kitchen, a coffee cup cooling on the table, and a head full of scenes that never got to play out, lines you never said, chances you never took. So I'll ask you the question I keep asking myself over and over when the house is dark and there's no one around to lie to. If you were me, 70 years old, sitting alone with the weight of a lifetime of almost, what would you wish you had done differently today?